Welcome to the Your Limitless Leadership Podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. Here, we believe leadership isn't just about titles. It's about how you show up in every aspect of life. Whether you're leading a business, building a legacy as an entrepreneur, guiding your family, or striving to lead yourself first, this podcast is for you. Join us as we dive into real conversations about growth, decision-making, and the courage it takes to lead with purpose. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and equipped to become the limitless leader you are meant to be. This is your Limitless Leadership Podcast. Let's lead without limits. Good afternoon. I have Mrs. Jenny Widman here today on your Limitless Leadership Podcast. And today, this one's obviously close to my heart, because this is a really cool story that when you look at leadership, when you look at life, they go hand in hand. And when I look at Jenny and what she has done to transform who she has been over the last, obviously years, we know that, but let's just call it since May of last year, May of 2025. You can see just a difference, obviously, physically, who she is as a person, but it's the mental aspect. And what I mean by that is she's willing to take things on. She says yes when she knows it's hard. She says yes when she doesn't feel good. She says yes when she's tired. She says yes when yes and yes. And straight up front, she didn't do that in the past, to a point. A lot of times it was, I'm too tired. I'm not going to get up. I'm going to eat what I want and do what I want. And it's amazing to me to see the transformation in what she's done. And we get to hear her story today. And the coolest part about this is it wasn't anything special that anybody listening to this can't do. And that's what I hope part of what she lays out for us today is, just to see what she can do and what she has done. So I'm going to turn it over to you just to give us give us the overview of what has happened. And then we'll dig in a little bit since May, what you did, what you have done, and where you're going.
Yeah. And thanks, Brent, for having me on here speaking about it. I'm doing a live next week with my coach, and it didn't really dawn on me to really talk about this, to be honest, since last week I was at my yearly, woman's appointment, and it was a new doctor I've never been to. And at the very end, she was asking me questions about my health and where I have been and how I'm feeling. And I just gave her the lay of the land of what I've been through since May. And at the very end, before she walked out, she had the door halfway open. She's like, I don't know if you need to hear this, but you inspired me today. And you need to go share your story to the world because you are an inspiration. And that was it. It was like a mic drop, right? She just left, and I just sat there and I sat in my chair. And I think it was the first moment that I'm going to cry, that I felt so proud of me, that she didn't know that she inspired me in that way, but just it kind of came full circle. And I was like, wow, yeah, my visit this year compared to my yearly last year, I'm a completely different person. I remember going into that last year just tired and miserable and exhausted and not understanding what was wrong with me and trying to get referrals to a functional medicine doctor and all these things. And so I left just feeling proud. But the quick answer to that is May 6th, 2024 is when I started my journey. And I hired a coach, Pamela and Rocco from House of Health. I didn't realize it, but I actually got two coaches when I signed up, Jamie Pearson, and they're an amazing tag team. Pamela's like the cheerleader, the person I can talk to and ask questions 24/7. And Jamie is like the hard ass that's hard to impress, nurse practitioner, husband's a doctor, very educated, and does fitness competitions herself. And Jamie is actually Pamela's coach. So I got like 2 for 1 for signing up because I did the best package you could get, and never looked back. I've lost 50. I mean, it goes on and off, every day because your weight fluctuates, but 52 pounds since then. I've lost 13 inches off of my waist measurement, and I feel amazing. How I explain it to Pamela is I just feel high on life. Like I feel excited to run outside with my kids. I love taking walks. I have energy all day long. It's just a different way of living that I got so accustomed to for 3 years of not knowing I was there.
And from this side, it's cool to see that as well, just the difference in who you are and what you are. A couple things you said there I want to go back to. And one of them, you inspired a doctor. Like, put that in perspective a little bit. We don't think about that at times. Like, you inspired somebody who, and many times doctors, lawyers, people like that, we look as the mecca of profession. And Jenny Widman walked into that room, and when she walked out, you inspired her. What made you, leading up to May 6th, so take a second if you need to think about this for a second, but leading up to May 6th, what other things had you thought about, maybe tried, contemplated? So, what held you back in the past from the change, if anything did? And what made you make the choice to sign up for something like this? Like, where were you at in that moment? So, leading up to it, and then in that moment, what led to that?
Yeah, I had a child, Hudson, March 23rd of 2021, and I gained 60 pounds having him total from when before I got pregnant to the day of giving birth. And after having him, I was in this mode of I'm getting all my baby weight off right now. Like right this second, it's happening. And I'm going to go on walks with him, and I'm going to run, and I'm going to eat healthy. And it worked for about a week, and my motivation was there. And I was just exhausted. I was like, okay. And I gave myself a break. I was like, when my child's sleeping, I'm not going to go for a walk with him. I'm going to sleep. Or, I got in this mode of give yourself grace. You just had a baby. And I got kind of comfortable when he ate, I ate, or snacking during the day, snacking when I could, not wanting to cook because I didn't have that much time. So we'd order out or get takeout or go out for dinner or whatever the case was. And I think I just got in this mode of being comfortable with the weight. Once Hudson was about 1.5, that's when I was like, all right, I need to do something. And I tried lots of different things. I did P90X with my husband down in the basement, and I would do it for like 25 days, and I'd be really disciplined with it. And then I would get sick, and I would take 4 days off, and then I wouldn't get back into it because I just didn't want to. And then 3 months would go by, and I would want to start again and do P90X, and I'd do it for 20 days. And it was like this cycle of wanting to do it, but not seeing the results in 20 days. So I'd give up on it. I've always ran. That's one of my goals in life, is to run a half marathon in every state. And I've crossed 25 off now. So I'm halfway there. And I did I signed up for a couple half marathons. So I'd run a lot. But when I ran, I would go really, really slow. And I'd be even more hungry after my run. Or I would think, oh, I can eat now because I ran, um, and so I tried that. And then on Instagram, I was just following fitness nutritionists. I message people and just ask what their programs were, and kind of like be intrigued with some of them, but none of them really hit me. So I never really signed up for anything. I went to Lifetime and I'd try the group classes, and I would go to Lifetime. Sure, I would go on the Stairmaster, and I never wanted to go in the weight room because it was too intimidating unless my husband went with me. And then I would do it a little bit, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And I didn't believe him on what weight I should do. Even though you're extremely fit, honey, I just I didn't want to take coaching from you. And so, yeah, I mean, I tried lots of different things, but I never committed to any of them. I was just this person that just kept thinking, oh, I'm doing the right things. But as the scale just kept increasingly staying the same, going up, going up, going up, it's not like, I lost a little bit of weight with Hudson, then I gained, then I lost, then I gained, but I was gaining more than I lost every time. So I got to the heaviest weight. 214 was heavier than the day that I had Hudson. I think, 206. So I got heavier than Hud.
This is so intriguing to me because it's so like the story of how, and I do have to call something because I don't think that we understand as people after a woman has a baby. What you described was how hard it was, just the energy level and the just tired, and because you think you're going to go back to, I'll just be normal then because I had a baby. Now I'm done. I'll move on. And just hearing that, we take that for granted. We do. It's not normal by any means. Like, that is a phenomenal thing. So, yeah. I go back to when you talked about P90X too. And what I want to ask about, one thing I want to comment and then ask. When I see you work out now, it is drastically different than when you did P90X. When I watched you do P90X, because I would stand behind you most of the time, you just kind of did it. When I watch you work out now, you are in it. Like, you are focused and motivated. What's been the difference with that? And then also the difference in what you're eating, and how has that changed the way you actually work out as well?
Well, I mean, the simple answer is I see results now, right? So
Okay.
at the beginning of this, I did work out extremely hard because I didn't want to let Jamie down and Pamela down. And I think that goes along with what we do for a living as well. I mean, back then, you were my husband who was extremely fit, and I am your wife. And I don't want to be told by my husband what weight to do, or what form you need. Like, I just don't need that from you. I want you to just say, I'm so proud of you, good job. And I just, we need those people to stay, in my opinion,
I
uh,
agree.
to stay in their lane. And for me, I just couldn't handle it. And I there was like a little bit of resentment there, even though I know your heart was extremely good. I needed to hear it from someone else, and I needed to hear it from someone that I wanted the body like. I don't want a man's body. I don't want these big muscular arms. I don't, and so to hear it from a Pamela and Jamie, who I want to, that I admire, it hit different to me. And I tried harder, uh, and I got results. And so I just never saw those results. But the reason why I didn't see the results wasn't because I was doing P90X and it doesn't work. Like, it does work, but I did not do every element that it takes to lose weight. I didn't look at my diet. I didn't track my macros. I didn't walk 10,000 steps every day. I didn't do the other things that it takes. It's not just a workout. A workout is like the cherry on the top. It's your diet. It's how you're fueling your body. It's how much sleep you're getting at night. There's so much other things that matter. And I didn't understand that science. I just didn't. I didn't want to.
Can you make that as simple as possible? When you were at X amount or X weight and wanted to get to X weight, what did you eat for protein? What was it? Fat and carbs, I think, is the pillars. What were those? And the reason I ask this question, Jenny, is because I want people to know that it's not this, when they hear macros and micros, like even for me, I might get overwhelmed and go, well, I don't know how to do that, so I won't do it.
Mhm.
So what is the simplest form you can put this in for where you were at or where you are at to what you do and how you do it? Because I don't like calling it a diet. I just like calling it, it's the way we eat. It's how we eat. It's not a diet.
Mhm.
And what are some of the things you've changed?
Yeah, it's different for every body type. Like, what mine is completely different than my best friend's, who's 5'2" and 100 pounds. I'm 5'8". I started at 214 pounds. But you can go on the macro calculator online. That's, how Pamela even figured mine out.
Mm.
But at the beginning of my journey, I was at 1850 for calories, and it's about 1.2 pounds of protein, or grams of protein, for every pound that you are. That would be way too much protein for me at the beginning. That would have been over 200 grams of protein. So she had me dialed back to 163 grams. Now I'm at 153 grams of protein. Um, and I'm at 1,650 calories now, because I've been on this journey for so long that I need to eat less to be able to keep tracking downward. But calories trump all. I just couldn't go over my calorie count. And then the next is your protein levels. You want to get as close as possible to your protein. So just think of it as 1 gram of protein for how much you want to weigh. And that's how much protein you should have in your day. About. And
Love
then
it.
uh, fats and carbs can be interchangeable. So, if you prefer more fats than carbs, you can just make that higher than your carb ratio. Or if you prefer carbs more than fats, you can make that higher. I enjoy both, so I have them pretty even. So, I think it's that it's customizable to you. But my biggest piece of advice is get a Pamela in your life and get somebody that understands the science to really understand what you need to be doing. But you just need to be in that calorie deficit, and you need to prioritize protein. And when you do those two things, like, magic just happens in your body, and you feel full. Like how I feel now.
Yes.
I was eating nothing before, but I was eating all high calorie foods that had no protein, all fats and sugars. And I didn't
Like
even
what?
know. I didn't even
Like
know.
what?
My
What's
Starbucks.
a example?
So Pamela said, what are the 5 foods that you need when you first started my journey? I said, she said, what can you not live without? And I said, my Starbucks, my buffalo chicken, and my pizza. And she's like, I promise you, you will have all of those foods. And she's like, we just have to maybe change how you're ordering it. And so my Starbucks order, before I started, she calculated it was like 400 calories. And if I got the sandwich with it, it was like 900 calories in my morning, before I even started my day. And so now my Starbucks order is 100 calories. It's like you just substitute some things. You get the almond milk. You don't do as much sweetener. You do sugar free, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. So, and I still eat my buffalo chicken. I still have my pizza. But you just have to. It's always in moderation, but you don't realize what moderation means until you're tracking it on MyFitnessPal.
Ooh, would you say that's probably the thing that hit you the hardest, was actually tracking what you're eating?
Absolutely. Like tonight we're having enchiladas, and I already put it in because that's how much I know how many tortilla chips I can have. And I haven't had anything since lunch because I'm excited to have some tortilla chips tonight. So it's like I already put in, I need to hit my protein. I need to see how many calories I have left over. And if I want dessert, I put that in so I know how many tortilla chips I can have. So it's like I reverse engineer my day backwards to what I know I want for that night. Like if I wanted a glass of wine tonight, I would put the wine in right now so that I can afford that wine tonight. So I'm just reverse engineering what I want and working backwards from there.
Are you ever so hungry that you can't, like, oh my goodness, I'm so hungry?
No, because I mean, you prioritize the protein. I don't, the more protein you eat, the less hungry I feel. And I don't know the science behind it still. I probably could do some more research on that or ask Pamela more questions. But, I have my overnight oats in the morning, and I put my protein powder in there with, some other things, collagen. And I'm not hungry until I didn't eat today until 1 o'clock. And then for lunch, I had egg whites, egg, and steak from last night, and I'm not hungry right now. So it's just putting more balanced meals in making sure every meal has 30 grams of protein or higher.
Okay, that's was going to be one of my questions right there, as what has been the change from what you ate in the past for like a lunch or something of that nature, where you're having eggs and steak with, because you were so excited when I walked upstairs and you told me it has X amount of fat and X amount of protein in it. And she was 43 grams or something like that is what it was. And just the total like mindset shift. And there's one of my questions. What's been the biggest mindset shift you've had during this journey? What's been the difference?
My lunch was less than 400 calories and 47 grams of protein. So I killed my lunch today. But wait, what's been the biggest difference with my food or with my what?
Start with the food. What's been the biggest difference in the food? Like just an example from today, as simple as it is, the meal you had today, as opposed to a meal you would have had at lunch a year ago, and the differences in that.
Oh gosh. A year ago for lunch, I was making a lot of quesadillas, and I was using wraps that were the flour wraps that are like the normal Mission ones you get at the store. It's like 140 calories just for the wrap. And I was loading it with veggies and chicken and tons of cheese. I'd always use spray, so I didn't really use butter and stuff. But just that alone probably would have 15 grams of protein, maybe 20. I'd probably have about 2 ounces of chicken in there with veggies and tons of cheese and lots of fat, and then the tortilla in itself. That would probably run me about 700 calories for that, maybe 600 with the wrap. Dip it in guac or, buffalo sauce or whatever I was using for that. Just yesterday I made a quesadilla, but I used my wraps that are 50 calories for one wrap. I use my spray, so not much there. But I measure my cheese out. So I only have 1 ounce of cheese, 28 grams about, and I use mozzarella, which is the healthier-ish cheese. And then I put about 4 ounces of chicken in there. And I don't, it was probably less than 300 calories for that, 30 grams of
Mm.
protein at least. So it's just making little choices like that you can use you can use the healthier cheese that saves 30 calories. You can use the better wrap for you that saves you 100 calories, and they taste just as good. Like, I don't even miss the other stuff. Like, maybe I'm used to it now, or maybe I'm just happy with where my body's headed. But it tastes, I still got my quesadilla fix. Like, I still put my veggies in it. It still tastes amazing. So, I think I'm just mindful. I'm more mindful. Instead of just having eggs, I have egg with egg white, and that doubles the protein, half the fat, half the calories, and tastes just as good, in my opinion. So, uh, yeah, I'm more mindful, and the app makes me more mindful. I mean, if you are trying to lose weight and have been trying to lose weight, and you get the MyFitnessPal app and you just start tracking your food, and I got a $20 scale off of Amazon, literally. It it's science. It just maths. The math is mathing. So you just need to do it. And yeah, it sucks. I still, it takes some time to like get used to, and it's kind of annoying that I'm sitting there at dinner like, oh, how much chicken do I have? Oh, what do I, and and I'm measuring things before I can even put it on my plate. It's that extra step, but it's it's amazing.
Is it worth it?
It's worth it.
I'm so happy you said, because I was going to ask you that question about the taste and is it different? Because a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to give up cheese, or, oh God, why would I do that? Then it doesn't taste good. But what you just said about it tastes just as good. It's just a little different.
Yeah. And I don't like when people say, I think it's like a trigger for me. My mom will slip up sometimes and she'll be like, oh, your diet. And I'm like, I'm not on a diet. Like, I still drink margaritas. I still have queso. I still eat pizza. Like, I do everything that I used to do. I just prioritize the protein. And if I know I'm having pizza at night, I will go way less on calories during the day to afford the pizza at night. But I still eat 2 slices of pizza. Like, maybe I'll have a piece of grilled chicken before I eat my pizza, or I'll get a little salad and I'll put chicken on my salad. Uh, but there's some things that I do so I don't overeat that stuff, but I still eat it and I still drink margaritas. Like, I don't consider it a diet. It's a new way of life.
Love that. And it took a while to get into that. There's a lot of process and error, and let's figure this out, and maybe some frustration in there. Like, I've watched it, and yes, she does still drink her margaritas. I can attest to that for sure. It's cool to watch though, that the evolution of things. And that's what I'm wondering. How do you feel now? And it's okay to take the humble card out of the equation here for a second, but how do you feel now compared to when you started?
I don't know if anyone can relate to this or not, especially if you are a mom or, have given birth to kiddos. I I just I noticed myself in the victim mentality a lot. And I noticed myself um giving myself excuses. And I'll start working on me when I'm ready, or when the kids are out of the house, for kindergarten, for school. Um I was tired all the time. I would wake up tired, and I was I was irritable. I was grumpy with my kids. I I just didn't feel like the best mom. I didn't feel like I was giving them my all. And um I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I needed a nap in the middle of the day, but my nap turned into an hour. I needed just to give them energy when they got home, and it didn't feel good. And now it feels so good that I can run outside with Hudson and not get tired and challenge him to be a faster runner. It feels good to, you know, wake up and get a workout in. It feels good to, on Sundays, have my kids watch us and do ab workouts with us and do bridges with us and get to understand how to work out. I mean, my daughter, she came down in the basement uh, like a month ago, and she was like, "Mom, I wanna work out with you. Can you show me what you're doing?" And she just did a whole leg workout with me for 50 minutes, and those things never would have happened before because I never did them. I didn't do them like that. So it just um it just feels better. It feels like you're high on life. I don't know how else to explain it.
I was going to touch on that before and what you just said about just the way it has impacted our family. I know you talked about like I've worked out for years and what have you, but when you started it, it's like our family dynamics changed. Everything did. The walks that we go on at night down to about 20 degrees is about as cold as we'll go, but we always go. So there's only been about 20 times in the last since May that we have not gone on a walk after dinner. And when HUD asks you at dinner every night, every single night, how many steps
Every
are you
night.
at, mommy? Every night. Elle going out for walks in the summer and just you two having your girl time. They always know that we're going to go for walks and we're going to be in the basement on Sunday mornings to work out. And just the difference in habits, the eating habits, like they're both, for the most part, I mean, they're still kids. They still get to eat stuff, right? But just the eating habits are so much different. And watching you, even though it can be a pain in the butt for you at times, watching you measure your food and knowing that you're eating healthier and talking about protein as well. You got to have your protein HUD, you got to have your protein L. And it's setting them up for success for the future. We may not see it today, but
Hope so.
that is one of the biggest things that looking from the outside in, because I know you're in it, that is one of the biggest things that I have seen impact on who your family is. I mean, it's helped me stay away from ice cream and Dairy Queen and
Yeah.
what have you. And once you stop doing it as much, you don't crave it as much. And I think that's one of the powers in it too. So, what surprised you most about this process? If you could pinpoint one, two, whatever, it's you can say whatever you want, as many things as you want. But what do you feel like has surprised you most about this whole process?
And there's a lot of things. I think I'm still coming to terms with it. It's so cliche. I just feel so much better in my own skin. I feel so much more energy and alertness, less foggy, clear. I feel like this level of confidence that I knew was always in me, but I feel like it can finally shine the way it needs to
Hmm.
and can. Uh the one habit that we've changed as a family and for myself are the 10,000 steps. And I never knew, like, when I heard 10,000 steps from people, I was like, "Oh, they must walk a lot, or they live in Manhattan. Like, I remember when I lived in Manhattan, I was getting 20,000 steps a day, and I wasn't even thinking twice of it. But like here, when you're living in suburbia and you get 10,000 steps and you work from home, you have to be very intentional. Like, you have to do it during your day, or you are not going to accomplish 10,000 steps. And I think the one thing that has surprised me the most is how much I love that time, how much I
Mm.
love just walking on the trail with, in the winter, nobody's around. Like, it was literally just me and my jacket and bundled up. I saw nobody. And I just loved that feeling of getting out there, getting some sunlight and seeing the nature, and listening to podcasts, listening to a book, talking to my best friend, talking to my mom, taking care of like some things I need to do for our house, or I was on with Comcast the other day. uh it's just time for me, and I know I need it. I know I need it in my day, and it keeps my energy levels up all day long. um so not only the steps for our family that you talked about, but it's like, you don't accomplish 10,000 steps going on one walk after dinner. You accomplish 10,000 steps being very intentional all day long. It's just that one walk after dinner gets you over that threshold that you need. So that's why it's so adorable when Hudson asks, because he knows I need to be at 10,000, and it's always around 8,000 or 8,500 or 9,000, or somewhere around there. And he's like, oh, okay. Okay, we got work to do, and so he knows that. But it's that alone time too with your family. It's, we don't take our phones. We are very we just talk, and we talk about the day, or we run, or we chase each other, or we throw snowballs with each other at each other. But it's like my favorite time. So uh I think the most surprising habit that I put in place was the steps and what it does for me and our family. But it's that confidence factor that's within you when you feel good about your own body.
I love that it gives you peace as well. That's
Mhm.
kind of what you said there too, that it's your time to just, because you didn't have that in the past. It was get up and kids or work or whatever. And now you're not only intentionally taking the time to walk, but it's intentionally taking time to just be and just enjoy it. And you can see there's a more calm presence about you, because it also gives you time to spend with the people you want to spend with, like you said, calling them, but also think through things and talk to yourself about things, whatever you want to call it. But there's a power in that I wish everybody understood, the things that you have done and have changed and have implemented that have simply impacted everybody around you on a positive note. Because I cannot think of one negative that I have seen from this. I mean, maybe for you, but not for, and maybe that's selfish. Not for me. I'll tell you that for sure. So it's pretty cool to see. How do you stay consistent, even though? Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Well, when you said other people too, like my best friend Danielle, she's a nurse practitioner, and every day at 11:30 Central, so it's 12:30 her time, she goes on a walk and to get her steps in. And I'd say 70% of the time we do them together. And so like that
Yeah,
11:30 to 12 o'clock hour, we just, it's like accountability, but she put it in her routine too. And she goes outside and she gets her steps in, and she hasn't been less than 8,000 steps in like 6 months now. And so, it's not just your family, it's people around you. They see you, and they want to do it too. So I just think it's so amazing.
love it. That's impact. And I love that you just said for her, it was it is 8,000 steps. which means it doesn't always have to be 10,000, but for you, your number was 10,000. So whoever's listening to this, yours might be a little bit different. And that's okay. The fact is you're out doing it and you're doing something and you're making your life better by doing these things. And has that been the hardest habit, or what's been like, even on those tough days, what's been the hardest for you to stay consistent, or when has it been hardest to stay consistent?
No, the steps is the easiest out of
I
everything
know.
that I've done.
Okay.
I mean, I'd say it's 50-50, whether it's weight training or food. The hardest thing about food is that you just want to have that chocolate chip cookie and the whole thing, and you can't. You don't need it. You just want it. Like I got a cookie the other day and I had 1/3 of it. And then yesterday I had 1/3 of it. And so there's 1/3 left, but now it's not even worth the calories because it's like old and gross. And so I'm going to throw it away. But when you first get that cookie, you want the whole thing. Like I wanted that whole thing. And that decision was hard for me that night. Like that decision was hard. I couldn't afford to have the whole thing, but I had enough that it was satisfying. So it's just, that's still hard for me. I'd say some weeks the doing the there's 4 weight training days that I have to do. There's 2 leg days, 1 push day, and 1 pull day. And I'd say it's easy to do 3. 4 is sometimes challenging because my body's sore. Mondays, I don't like working out first thing in the morning. I like working out, and I've noticed this about myself, but I like working out at the lunch hour. Like Mondays, I just need that lunch hour. I don't want to rush myself in the morning. I just don't want to start my week off like that. So I protect that lunch hour to do my Monday workouts. And now it's easier for me. But I think it's that trial and error. You just have to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And it took a while to get all the weights that we needed. They're a lot of money. And our weights broke on us because we had that Bowflex and it wasn't working. And then we had to go and get the individual weights. And every time you get it's like over $100 for one weight set. So we still don't have a weight rack. Like I think it's this work in progress, but it's that aspect that like it's okay and you just make it work with whatever you have. But I'd say 50-50. Some days it's that chocolate chip cookie and some days it's that 4th weight training leg day that I don't want to do, but you just do it and you feel super glad that you did.
The 3 things you just touched on right there, I love it. Like the cookie, sometimes it's hard because you want the whole thing. Like you want it, and it's the discipline of you can have it, but not the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the weights that you touched on, there's this thing that it's expensive to work out and all this. We've done it over time. We have bought things over time because the weights aren't ever going to go bad. They're never not going to weigh the same. You
Mm-hmm.
just get them over time and you build this home gym, really is what it comes down to. And obviously lighter ones cost less. So for those of you listening, they're not all $100. I'll correct you a little bit on that one. It's like $1 a pound, basically, is what it comes down to. In essence.
Well, I need
Gosh,
like pounders.
you touched on something else there. I can't remember what it was, but it's all these different things that it's a progression of things. It's not an overnight. And I love this story because it's watching your progression and just looking at, like I sent you a couple pictures from a year ago or even a few months ago, and just the transition over time and watching that too. It's so cool. And to buy new clothes, I mean, I would hope a husband would never get frustrated with their wife because she's buying new clothes because she's getting healthy. So let's just throw that out there too, because that's pretty cool in my book.
I have this recording, honey.
I know. There's a happy medium in there too.
Okay.
But I love it. I love it. I mean, it's so cool when you do it together, how it helps your relationship as well.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there's another impact that you've probably seen, but I don't know if you've seen, but it's made us closer too. I wholeheartedly believe that
Mhm.
because we can talk about those types of things and we can talk about hard and easy and do it together and go out for walks and go out for runs and just not what are you eating, but just eating healthier. And it's impacted my world as well. So it's pretty cool to see that. If you were to look at Pamela or Jamie, what's maybe not the best advice, but a piece of advice that stuck with you or something that either one of them said or they have both said that has stuck with you that has really helped you?
When you know something, you cannot unknow it. And
Hmm.
I love that piece of advice because, I'm educating myself every week on my weekly calls with them. I have a one on one with them, and, we go through either talking me off my ledge or getting me back to what I need to be like, or, um, that one time a month that every woman has. Uh, I gained 6 pounds in that. And there's one day in those 4 days that my scale goes up 6 pounds, and every single time I'm like, what the heck? And I know it. I know that this happens and it's water weight and I shouldn't be mad, but I just need those reminders. And so the piece of advice that I absolutely love is, once you know something, you can't unknow it. And it's a science. Losing weight is a pure science, and it's what your body needs. And that's what Pamela said to me one time. She was like, you must have just been overeating so much that your body was literally just like crying for help because it was so tired all the time, so drained all the time. You weren't properly fueling it. You weren't giving it what it needs. And it's just really fun to go in this journey. What I'm most excited about in this journey that I'm on is the reverse diet part. And that's when I get to my goal weight of 155, which I'm almost there. I'm about 5 pounds away. And I'll get to that goal weight of 155. And then I'll start this reverse diet where my calories will slowly go back up. And then my maintenance calories will be about 2,200, 2,500. And so right now it's at 1650. I'll be allowed a lot more calories for the rest of my life, but maintaining this 155 to 160 range. And
Hmm.
I still have about 5 more pounds to go, but that's what I'm most excited about in this journey.
So on the same line, if you could give somebody advice, if you were sitting down at a restaurant with somebody that listened to this and said, "Can you help me?" and you went to lunch with them and you gave them a piece of advice or tangible thing that they could do, what would you tell them or what would you help them with?
Get yourself a coach. I mean, I feel like you why do life alone? Like, why do this journey alone? It's so much more rewarding, and it's so much better when you have different people in your corner, and other people that want the best for you. And you can let yourself down really easily. It's so easy for me to let myself down, for me to let my kids down, for me to let my husband down, for me to let Pamela down, my best friend down, my parents down. That's hard. That's really hard. And so, I just, if there's something in you that feels like you can optimize your body that you're in, like, we're given this one life, we're given this one body. Like, why not make it the best body ever? And that's for energy levels and protein and for your figure, for your confidence, for your mind. Why not? And I don't know who that coach is for you. I feel like you just get spoken to sometimes, like Pamela spoke to me. But I really truly feel like when you hire coaches in your life, in every area of your life, you improve.
I love this. That what you just said about you can let yourself down, but you don't want to let other people down. Like that's hopefully if when people are listening to this, they're hearing this right now as in maybe I've let myself down for a long time, but I'm letting other people down as well. And a lot of times we don't see that, the impact of people around us. Because I think you just left people with something really, really special right there. What's the best way if they want to reach out to Jenny Widman? What is the best way for somebody to get a hold of you, to somebody find you, to have a conversation with you?
I mean, you can see my journey on my Instagram page too. It's Jenny Marie Widman. I posted a video of my whole journey from May to now to the present of losing the weight, and you can see videos of what I used to look like doing my workouts and videos of me doing workouts now. Completely different body and person. But I'd say the best way is just look on there, shoot me a message or email me at jwidman at your limitless coach. But
Love it.
one thing that I say Brent and I don't do is we don't just coach on leadership. We coach on leadership as a whole, where it's about your mind, your body, your confidence. It's one of the coaching clients that I've worked with has lost over 70 pounds being in coaching, and it's more of the accountability that it comes with than rather than me just be a Jamie for him. Like it's he just needed that person to remind him to go on those steps and to take control of their food and all the things. So that's what I'd say.
I love it. This is, maybe I'm biased, but this has been one of the best podcasts we've done because I think it hits home for so many people. There is a vast amount of people, and please don't take this wrong, that are overweight. There just is. And if you want to change your journey and you want to do things and you want to change your mindset and your life and your kids and everybody around you, if you're not going to do it for them or you're not going to do it for you, figure out vice versa who to do it for and watch what happens to your life. And Jenny can be reached at jwidman, WIDMAN, at yourlimitlesscoach.com. Phone number is 646-975-0960. Yeah, I got it right. Feel free to text her. I would encourage you to set up time because everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs somebody to help them. Everybody needs the accountability. And if I know one thing, she has the biggest heart because when you have been through it, you know how to help other people with it because you know where you have been and that journey along the way and the feeling and everything else that goes with it. That's leadership. And that's what we're here to help you with. So thank you for doing this. I know it's not always easy. So yeah, love it. Thanks for joining us on the Your Limitless Leadership Podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. We hope today's conversation inspired you to think differently about leadership, not just in your career, but in every part of your life. Remember, leadership starts with leading yourself first. It's about taking action, making bold decisions, and showing up with purpose. Now, it's time to take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Whether it's in your business, your community, your family, or your own personal growth, start leading without limits. You have the power to become the leader you're meant to be. Until next time, keep pushing your boundaries and leading with purpose.